Jim, our final question for Tony, an interesting one because it relates to something we've talked about for any booker, let alone for Tony Khan, and we've discussed it about him as well, and we're going to have follow-up audio from Dave Meltzer after this.
Oh, good Lord.
But it's Tony Khan being asked
Brian,
about...
you're just hitting me with all these great orators.
It's
just these incredibly talented public speakers that just captivate your attention. You sit in rapt bemusement at the whole thing.
Well, here's Tony Khan being asked about Burnout as a booker and as a promoter for AEW.
Anybody here who has not gotten to ask a question yet that's holding up? Yes. Okay. Because we've had, thank you. I want to make sure anybody who has not gotten to ask a question yet gets, thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
I just have to ask, clearly you're a big wrestling fan, like a lot of us are in here as well too. But in being in that space, you know, we have what we like to call a burnout, basically, where it's
a what?
A burnout. It's what we social media influencers kind of call, where you're posting so much, you're
burnout.
Hmm?
You're saying it too fast.
Oh, burnout. There we go. Burnout.
A burnout?
Yes.
Yes. It's
What I have a feeling that Tony's heard this phrase before. He suddenly doesn't know burnout.
You have a burnout. It sounds like a meltdown. It sounds like a nervous breakdown. You get burnt out. I don't know. Is English a second language for all the people in this room? I see no video. I don't know why they have such trouble and mangle the goddamn King's English.
And you have to see Tony's face as he's trying to figure out what this man is saying, and then he realizes it's burnout, and it's Tony that he's asking about burnout.
Tony may not understand. Hard work. What?
Basically where you're posting so much, you're consuming so much of the product that you just kind of go into that burnout phase to where you don't feel as motivated to say post or as motivated to basically do what's a part of your job necessarily. I have to say for you, if there's any case where you might be, say, a little less motivated.
No, I haven't taken a break from wrestling in a long, long time, and I love it. And I'm very much in the zone. I love coming to work every week, and I've never missed a show, and I absolutely love it. And I talked about this a little bit earlier in the week, but I love coming here, and even if it's a question I've talked about before, and this is not a question I've talked about. I really like it, but I did reference some things along these lines earlier this week that I'd get back into. Every day I come into work, I'm so grateful to be in the chair. And I think all the time about how fortunate I am. I'm also really glad that you all, for the most part, a lot of the wrestling fans seem to like the work I'm doing and want me to be in the chair, because I'm also cognizant that it's not always that way for people. And I feel like, again, like I said earlier, a year ago, I felt like I was working really hard and I was trying my best. And I feel like after a year later, being in the same building in the same place, after turning it, you know, it feels like we're in a better place than we were a year ago.
Let me stop it real quick. Would a sign of burnout be not necessarily like you're stressed or, you know, just you're hitting a wall, but you can't recognize when things that are not good aren't good?
That's what and I just keep sighing because he just and won't ever end. But it's not about not being excited to come to work or not trying hard or not, you know, being motivated to do it. It's you've lost it. You're burnout. You can't. It's not, this is not like a job where you go and perform a specific function every day. Whether it's music, the music business, or whether it's movie making or the television business or the wrestling business, it's entertainment. There's not office hours. There's not days off, weekends, Sunday. It doesn't make any difference. In the wrestling business, it's all the time, constantly, for however long you're doing it. And that's why bookers would quit booking for a while, or promoters would goddamn... Jerry Jarrett bought him a construction company to have something else to fucking do. Whatever. You can't just do this goddamn forever. And it's being creative is more difficult than just going and doing a rote task. You can go and stuff envelopes. You get burnt out with that. and you don't want to goddamn go to work. But in this case, being responsible for a television program for entertainment in effect, as bad as he wants to go, he just ain't got anything else to do. He's doing the same shit over and over the same way. As Ernie Ladd would say, wring your brain out. Your brain is like a sponge. When it has absorbed all it can, you must wring it out. He's just doing the same shit over and over. He's bumping into the wall. But it doesn't mean he doesn't enjoy it. He just he's lost it.
Well, let's see if he finds it. More audio from Tony Khan about Burnout.
Many ways. And for me, I don't get that. So I'm always really grateful. Now, as a wrestling fan, wrestling's on 52 weeks a year. So I do realize that, like, it takes a special kind of sports fan to have no off season and to follow a sport year round. And there were times when I was a kid where there would be periods where, like, when I was playing basketball and it was like, I would miss some wrestling shows, and the next thing you know, you missed the show a couple weeks in a row, and I'd tape a lot of things on VHS. So I'd forget to set the recorder, and then you missed the show. And, there were a couple of times where that, like, in the 90s, I had a couple of times like that, and then time.
Let me stop it real quick.
What does it have to do with him being burnt out after booking his fucking fiasco over 6 years that he used to miss a show every once in a while in the goddamn 90s?
But he hasn't missed one since.
He was a fan.
He's saying he hasn't missed one since. He's trying to think back to when he missed a show, and he's like, well, there was a time in the 90s that I kind of wasn't interested. It's been nonstop ever since.
He wasn't writing them except in his basement to his other 3 fans on whatever the thing was. Again, this is burnout of whether you're an executive producer, whether you're a Lennon and McCartney as songwriters, whether you're a goddamn movie producer, whether you're a writer, you've got writer's block. He's done it. He can only rehash the same shit. He needs to get away from it at least, even if he comes back to it. I'm not saying that would be a lot better, but you can tell he's slowing down a little bit unless they adjusted his medication. He's a little less peppy than he used to be, but mentally come up with a goddamn new idea. One that's good, not one that you just think is good because you won't listen to people.
Let's go back to Tony Khan.
After time, anytime I got away from it, I always rediscover my love for it. And then being entrenched in it now for 7 years, every single week without a week away from it, I'm obsessed with it. I love it so much. I never think about being away from it, and I eat and breathe and sleep it. So it's really a pleasure to be here, and I never take it for granted how special it is to be able to do this. Thank you for asking.
All right, well, there it is. Then he's going to ask again.
You know what? I'll tell you one more thing, and then I'm glad we're done with him. In Smoky Mountain Wrestling, I never missed a TV because we shot our TV once every 3 or 4 weeks, right? But toward the end, I not only took off some of the spot shows because it was just getting ridiculous. I needed some goddamn sleep, but also for the whole duration, maybe once every 3 months or so, I would tell Brian Hildebrand and Sandy Scott, you'll see me in 3.5 days. And there would be a way that they could call me somehow if somebody goddamn fell in a well, and otherwise I crawled in my hole somewhere and didn't think about fucking wrestling for about 3 days.
Imagine how you feel if you're a Jaguars fan and you hear Tony, who has always been so involved, saying he's obsessed with wrestling, doesn't miss a show, it's all he wants to do, it's all he thinks about. How's he supposed to have time and the energy and the desire for all these other things? The football team, the soccer team.
Well, but here's the thing.
The analytics.
he didn't really run those to begin with. It's not like he's out there writing the football game for them. That's why they can't pick talent. That's something that runs in as a pattern. But they've got people running the football team. Can you imagine that if he went in and said, "Okay, guys, now on 4, hut 1, hut 2, whatever"? No, because this is his childhood fantasy. He didn't book football games, so he'll let other people do that. He booked wrestling, so he's got to do this.
Well, of course, Jim, a lot of us have thought that Tony has indeed burned out. Not that he had great ideas at the beginning, but the same things over and over, the mistakes that are never learned from. The TV's not exactly good. But someone did come to the defense of Tony's burnout, and that's Dave Meltzer, who apparently returned from his vacation and recorded, or maybe he's still on vacation. I don't know. He's in a room I've never seen him in here in this video. But he's speaking to his co-host, Garrett Gonzalez.
Hey, wait a minute. Is there padding on the walls?
No,
That could be a clue.
No, but Dave's hair gets darker and darker every time I see him. I don't know what he's doing to his hair. But let's go to this audio right now. Garrett Gonzalez and Dave Meltzer talking about Tony Khan burnout.
Somebody asked Tony about burnout. What did you think about that question? That was pretty interesting.
He doesn't burn out, but that it's kind of inhuman to do as much as he does. I mean, he is devoting most of his time to the wrestling, but it's not like he's not, devoting a lot of time to football and soccer. But yeah, look, I think it's pretty clear that Tony Khan's always going to be the booker of AEW,
Mm-hmm.
and whether that's good or bad. I mean, if you like the product the way he presents it, it's good. If you want some other type of product, it's not going to be that product.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how.
Let's stop it there for a second, because what Dave is saying is actually the truth. I think he's saying everything that's exactly right here.
That's amazing that he's come out and said it. Won't that offend Tony more than anything else? Is that Dave is actually saying, look, it's not going to change. It's never going to get better. If you like what it is, this is what it's going to be. But it ain't ever going to change because Tony's never going to quit.
That is what he's saying.
Wow.
Tony's always going to be the booker, and for anyone who wants a different thing, which you could take as a better thing, it isn't going to be that. Let's go back a little more audio here.
How it is. There's a lot of different questions on that, but sometimes you don't know you're burning out, and a lot of times when it comes to booking, bookers burn out and they're the last to know it. And I'm not saying that Tony's burned out or anything like that.
And that's where that clip cut off on YouTube, but
well, now then, I'm not saying that this is what's happened, but this is what's happened. Good Lord. And
yeah, he's having this conversation with Garrett Gonzalez. Listen to some of the things Brian Alvarez has been saying about the
I was about to say, is Garrett Gonzalez trying to do Brian Alvarez like a Waylon Flowers and Madam type of thing where Alvarez has his hand up Gonzalez's ass? Because he sounds just like him. I don't think
that's I don't know if they sound alike, but I don't think that's the situation at all. But
I thought you were going to say you didn't know whether a hand was up anybody's ass or not, but you're just concerned about how they sound.
Jim, burnout is what we're talking about here.
Burnout's a thing that I'm going through after listening to those two brilliant enunciators. Jesus Christ. If either one of them had been Abraham Lincoln, we'd still have slavery.
You see, Dave won't admit that Tony isn't as good as he thinks he is. He'll just say, instead of saying like Tony needs help or he'll just say like Tony's going to be the one doing it. That's just the way it is. This is what it's going to be. This is how it is. It's a weird form of just acceptance. Just accept this is how Tony books and this is what the show's going to be, and nothing will improve it. Stop being a grifter. Stop complaining about it. Just this whole, you got to learn, just everything with Dave, this nonsense. And he said everything true there about burnout and how it affects bookers, and they're the last to know. He just wouldn't apply it to the person we're talking about, Tony.
But that's the closest he's come, so I do have to give him a tip of the hat instead of a wag of the finger, because he actually said the truth, just didn't apply it to the specific person. So he's got plausible deniability when Tony says, "You said bad things about my booking."
Well, Jim, there'll be plenty more bad things to say about his booking in the future. That was the AEW Full Gear Media Scrum for Tony Khan.